Have you ever wondered what really happens after we leave this world? The mystery of death can be unsettling, stirring questions and fears we all face at some point. But what if the answer isn't an end, but the beginning of a new journey? In this video, we'll explore how the spiritual realm is organized into different levels of evolution and how understanding this can change the way we see life and death. If you've ever lost a loved one, or feel anxious when thinking about what lies ahead, this content will help you find comfort and clarity. Stay with us until the end and uncover a new perspective that can bring peace and meaning to life's cycle. Death has been one of humanity's greatest mysteries since the dawn of civilization. Despite scientific and philosophical advancements, the unknown continues to stir a profound sense of unease. The uncertainty of what happens when we leave this world is a universal concern. At some point, we all face the inevitable question, where do we go after death? This mystery is not merely theoretical. It takes on greater intensity when we experience grief after the loss of a loved one. The emptiness we feel, the thought that we may never see that person again, triggers fears that are difficult to cope with. The absence left behind awakens natural anguish, and the unknown feeds even more anxiety. After all, if we don't know what's on the other side, how can we find comfort? Throughout history, various traditions and beliefs have sought to provide answers. Some speak of reincarnation, others of eternal paradise or karmic cycles, while some believe in the absolute end of existence. Despite the differences, the need to understand and give meaning to what happens after death is a shared effort across cultures. The questions remain the same. Is there a destination for the soul? What determines that destination? Does the life we lead influence what we will encounter on the other side? No matter the answer, these doubts affect how we live in the present. Reflecting on death inevitably makes us reflect on life. Are we truly making the most of our time? Are we at peace with our choices? And most importantly, how can we prepare for the final transition with greater serenity? This is where our journey begins. In this video, we move beyond fear and uncertainty to explore a perspective that offers clarity and peace, the organization of the spiritual realm. Understanding how it works and how the soul continues its evolution can change the way we view death, not as an end, but as a new chapter of learning and growth. When we view death as a transition, it opens the door to a new perspective. The spirit continues to exist in a different dimension where its journey of evolution carries on. According to many traditions, the spiritual realm is not a single uniform space. It is composed of various levels or spheres, each corresponding to a stage in the soul's evolution. Just as we go through phases of learning on earth, from childhood to adulthood, the spirit progresses through multiple layers of consciousness. These levels are not merely symbolic, they reflect the mental, moral, and spiritual state of each individual. Picture the spiritual realm as an endless staircase, where each step represents a new degree of understanding and growth. Those who lived harmoniously and sought goodness naturally align with higher spheres, where peace and serenity prevail. On the other hand, souls still burdened by resentment, guilt, or anger may find themselves in denser levels, where the lessons are more challenging. A powerful example of this organization is found in Nosso Lar, the Astral City, based on the experiences of a spirit named André Luiz. After his death, André awakens in an intermediate dimension, a spiritual colony designed for healing and rebalancing. He must undergo a process of awareness and purification before ascending to higher spheres. This narrative beautifully illustrates how the spiritual realm is structured. Every spirit is welcomed according to its needs and merits, with progress being continuous yet dependent on personal effort. In the spheres closest to Earth, we find spirits still deeply connected to the material world. These levels serve as places for learning and regeneration. Higher spheres, however, offer a state of profound harmony and understanding, free from the constraints of matter. In these elevated realms, the soul often acts as a guide for those still developing, helping them find their way along their evolutionary journey. This model is both just and merciful, offering each soul precisely what it needs at the right time, allowing learning to unfold at a suitable pace. Life on Earth, with all its challenges, serves as preparation for these levels of consciousness. Everything we do and feel directly influences the spiritual harmony we will experience after death. In essence, our actions today shape the level where we will awaken in the afterlife. The idea that there is no final, irreversible judgment, but rather continuous growth, offers comfort to many. Knowing that mistakes can be corrected and that the soul has endless opportunities to evolve is a message of hope. It allows us to view death not as a punishment or an impenetrable mystery, but as a gateway to a new phase of learning. The spiritual realm is neither fixed nor static. It is dynamic, adapting to the progress of each soul. Spirits that begin in denser spheres can over time rise to lighter realms as they work through their inner challenges. Similarly, those in higher spheres continue to learn and grow, for the spiritual journey is infinite. Understanding this structure provides us with a new way to approach life. If we know that the soul's journey continues beyond death, we can live more freely, with less fear. Challenges no longer feel like punishments, but rather opportunities for growth. The organization of the spiritual realm teaches us that every trial serves a purpose, and life itself is a continuous preparation for what lies ahead. This perspective also encourages reflection on the impact of our daily choices. How are we cultivating our minds and hearts? Are we preparing ourselves to awaken in higher realms, or are we still entangled in material attachments? These are essential questions for those seeking to evolve and find greater peace in this life. With this understanding, we move to the next crucial topic: how the structure of the spiritual realm can help us cope with grief and find comfort in the loss of loved ones. Knowing that the soul continues its journey profoundly changes how we face farewells. If you are enjoying this exploration of the soul's journey and want to dive deeper into topics like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. That way, you won't miss any of the new content we've prepared to deepen your understanding. Each spiritual level is not just a place, but a state of consciousness where the soul finds precisely what it needs to evolve. The spiritual journey is continuous and deeply personal, shaped by the choices and experiences accumulated over past lives and the current one. The organization of these levels serves a specific purpose: to provide learning, healing, and growth, always aligned with the soul's vibrational and moral state. Souls burdened with guilt, hatred, or regret often awaken in denser spheres. These initial levels serve as spaces for reflection and regeneration. Although they may be challenging, they offer valuable opportunities for the spirit to acknowledge its mistakes and begin the process of inner transformation. The goal is not punishment, but to allow the soul to understand the consequences of its actions and find new directions for growth. On the other hand, souls that lived in harmony, practiced love, and sought the good for themselves and others reach higher spheres where peace and serenity reign. In these elevated realms, the spirit experiences a deeper understanding of itself and the nature of existence, freeing itself from the constraints of matter. Yet even at these levels, evolution is ongoing. Learning never stops, and the soul continues its journey toward refinement. A useful metaphor is to think of the spiritual realm as a school. Just as we pass through different stages on Earth, from elementary school to university, the spirit advances through levels reflecting its spiritual maturity. At each stage, it gains new skills and faces challenges appropriate to its level of development. Some spirits may repeat years, just as students sometimes repeat courses until they are ready to move forward. Progress is not linear. It honors the time and effort each soul needs to grow. The primary role of these levels is to promote self-awareness. In each sphere, the soul confronts aspects of itself that need attention. By working through these issues, the spirit sheds old traumas and negative patterns, becoming lighter and more prepared for new experiences. This process, however difficult, is essential for spiritual evolution and the attainment of true inner peace. These levels also offer the chance for restoration. Spirits in denser realms are often guided by more evolved souls acting as mentors. These enlightened beings do not judge. They guide, helping the soul find its way back to the path of growth. This system of cooperation shows that evolution is a collective process. No one grows alone, and all can benefit from the love and wisdom of those further along the journey. The role of spiritual levels goes beyond individual learning. They also provide opportunities for service. Souls in higher realms often return to help those at earlier stages of development. This dynamic reinforces the idea that evolution is infinite and that everyone at some point is both a learner and a mentor. Understanding this structure helps us live with greater purpose. When we recognize that our current life is preparation for higher levels of consciousness, every experience takes on new meaning. Challenges no longer seem like meaningless obstacles, but rather become essential parts of a greater plan for spiritual growth. In the next chapter, we will explore how this perspective can help us cope with grief and bring serenity to the process of saying goodbye. When we understand that our loved ones continue their journey, death becomes less frightening and more meaningful, allowing us to transform longing into an experience of love and gratitude. Losing a loved one is one of the most painful experiences we can face. Grief confronts us with the emptiness left by someone's absence, and often not knowing what happens after death deepens that pain. The thought of never seeing or feeling the presence of that person again can seem unbearable, creating a sense of permanent disconnection. However, adopting a broader understanding of the spiritual realm brings new meaning to the pain of farewell. Recognizing death as merely a transition to another dimension can offer solace. The soul of the departed doesn't vanish. It continues to exist, evolve, and learn, following its own path of spiritual growth. This shift in perspective transforms the way we experience grief, allowing us to see separation not as an end, but as a pause in an ongoing cycle. This understanding offers a new way to live with longing. Instead of feeling paralyzed by sorrow, longing becomes an expression of love and connection that remains alive beyond death. Knowing that the spirit of a loved one is continuing its journey, perhaps in a realm where it finds peace and growth, brings comfort to a grieving heart. The possibility of a reunion, whether in another dimension or future existence, ignites hope and eases the weight of loss. Moreover, understanding the different levels of the spiritual realm helps us see that evolution is ongoing for everyone, including those still on Earth. Each of us is called to grow and learn, not only for our own benefit, but also to honor the memory of those who have passed. Embracing this reality transforms pain into motivation, encouraging us to make more conscious choices on our personal journey. With this awareness, we can approach death with greater serenity, knowing that our loved ones are not lost forever, but are continuing a journey that will one day reconnect us. Now that we've explored how this perspective can ease the burden of grief, let's move on to discuss how it can also help overcome fear and anxiety related to death. The fear of death is one of the most universal anxieties. The uncertainty of what awaits us when that moment arrives can stir deep feelings of distress. This fear can impact our quality of life, preventing us from engaging in meaningful reflection and leading us to squander the present by worrying about the future. However, understanding death as a natural part of an evolutionary cycle offers a new perspective, one that can transform anxiety into acceptance. When we recognize that life is just one chapter in a larger story, the concept of spiritual transition brings relief. If we see death as a passage to another phase of learning, we begin to understand that it is not the end, but a point of continuation. This awareness encourages us to live more consciously, making the most of the present moment and making choices that align with our soul's purpose. Spiritual practices can also be powerful tools for alleviating the fear of death. Meditation, for instance, teaches us to stay connected to the present and embrace life's impermanence. As we reflect on the transient nature of all things, we begin to see that much of our anxiety stems from excessive attachment to the body and material life. Through these practices, we learn to accept that every ending is merely a new beginning, whether in this world or another realm of existence. Understanding the spiritual realm also provides a broader sense of life's purpose. If we know that our journey continues after death, we can focus on cultivating values and experiences that truly matter. Rather than fearing the unknown, we learn to trust in the natural process of the soul's evolution. This trust brings inner peace, preparing us to face death with serenity, like one who has completed an important stage and is ready for the next. Now that we've explored how this perspective can reshape our relationship with fear and anxiety, we move to the final part of the video. There, we reflect on the importance of living with purpose and embracing every stage of the spiritual journey with fullness and meaning. Reaching the end of this reflection means understanding that death, far from being a definitive end, is merely another phase in the soul's ongoing journey. The spiritual realm teaches us that every step we take in life has a purpose, and even after we leave this world, the journey continues toward evolution and inner peace. Embracing life and death in this way reshapes our perspective, transforming fear and anxiety into trust and hope. Knowing that we are not just bodies, but spirits in constant development, inspires us to live with greater meaning. Every experience we encounter and every decision we make contributes to our spiritual growth. The challenges we face are no longer mere obstacles, but opportunities for learning and transformation. Similarly, the loss of loved ones becomes a step in the path of love and future reconnection, not a permanent separation. By embracing this new perspective, we find the motivation to live the present with more intensity and purpose. In the end, what truly matters is not what we possess, but how we grow and impact the world around us. Understanding the cycle of life and death invites us to cultivate lasting values, such as love, compassion, and generosity. If we view life as preparation for higher levels of consciousness, every moment becomes an opportunity to become better versions of ourselves. The question we leave with you is, how would you live if you knew that every choice you make now shapes the path of your soul in the future? With this reflection, we conclude this video and invite you to continue with us on this journey of spiritual discovery. Together, let's explore more about life, death, and the soul's evolution. Thank you for staying with us until the end. If this video brought you a new perspective or a sense of relief, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share it with someone who could benefit from this message. Together, we can continue this conversation and deepen our understanding of life's cycle and what lies beyond. Hit the bell icon to receive notifications and join us in upcoming videos where we explore these and other essential topics for our spiritual growth. The journey goes on, and we're grateful to have you with us.